The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboys Storyline is here. It's November 3rd. It's Friday. A couple days away from the Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in a showdown for, I would say, the lead in the NFC East. I think technically the Eagles will still be in first place regardless what happens. They've played an extra game, but we all know how important this would be for the Cowboys to go get a win, especially if they want to stay on pace with a team that's already 7-1 and they're flying high, if you will. But the Cowboys have a chance to go up there in a place that they've had success before, go up there and get a win. So let's talk about it. Cowboys Storyline, the 888-855-2297. That is the phone line. You can text as well, 817-290-3298. We'll get a few text messages rolling in as well. But we love hearing from you guys. We want to get on the phone lines as quickly as we can. So we're not going to waste any more time. Let's get right to it. Let's start it off. Dylan in Northport, Florida. You're first up. What's up?
Hey, Nick. Good to talk to you again here, sir.
You too.
Appreciate it. Before I get going, I want to give a shout-out to a couple callers yesterday. Andrew, we all kind of ragged on you a little bit there, Andrew, for your not needing to win there, but it was a great call because it gave us all something to talk about, so good stuff, dude.
True.
And then my boy Dennis from Albany bringing the energy. That's where I'm from. It's where I grew up, was Albany, New York, and I know how hard it is to be a fan up there, especially in 2007, man. That was rough. So
yeah.
Good job repping the 518, my man.
All right. That's good. I appreciate that. I had to go back and look at the call. Yeah, and I remember, yeah, Anthony definitely sparked the rest of the show with that comment. What do you got, Dylan?
Yeah, so a couple things. Got to stop Jalen Hurts, right? And I remember the first time we played them last year, there was a play right in the beginning of the game, and there ended up being a couple of them where Michael was free, just rushed off the edge, gets to the quarterback, and just stops because he's trying to read the play. Mm-hmm. Just hit Hurts. Just hit him, and they'll stop running the play. You'll funnel the ball back in by hitting Hurts, take the option away from him. He'll have to hand the ball off, and eventually they'll stop doing it because they don't want him getting hurt.
Yeah.
So either end running off the edge, just hit Hurts and let the middle of the defense take care of the running back if he hands it off. I'll give up 4 yards if that means you get a free hit on Jalen.
Yeah. I'm always trying to figure out at the end of the show, like, what to title it, what's the name of the show. What if we just went Hit Hurts? What if that's just it right there? Hit Hurts.
Hit him where it hurts.
Oh, well, that's different. Yeah, that's a different whole thing right there. If his name's Hurts, hit him. How about that? All right, Dylan, appreciate the call. Good stuff. That's the way. That's how you lead us off here. Let's go right to Aaron. He's in Youngstown, Ohio. Aaron, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Nick? Good talking to you.
Good talking to you, too. How are you?
Not too bad. It's been tough getting in this week, so you know the fans are ready for the game.
That's funny that you say that. The callers, that we've actually had a little less callers than normal. Maybe because I talk too much or you guys are talking a little long. I don't know. But, it's been we haven't had as many. But I think we're gonna move it up today. We're going to get a few here today.
Gotcha. All right, so a couple of things I just wanted to touch on. I think the biggest part of this game this weekend is not going to be mainly the defense, because you know the Eagles' offense is going to get theirs. You just kind of hope that you can make Hurts uncomfortable, make him rush throws, because that's whenever he gets himself into trouble, is when he gets pressure in his face and he kind of panics a little bit, because he is very good under pressure. So just kind of getting pressure on him is going to be key, but they're always going to get theirs. I think the key is going to be how the offense responds when the defense does give up points, because if you go back to that 49ers game, every time the defense got gashed, the offense just couldn't respond, and it got away from them. And I think last week in that Rams game, something that wasn't really talked about a lot was the fact that first possession the Cowboys had in the second half, after the Rams scored a touchdown to go into the half, get the ball back, go right down the field, and then all of a sudden a 30-point lead's 15, and then you kind of look at that like, okay, here we go again. And then offense goes 17 plays, 10-minute drive, and to a field goal, and then that kind of cut the bleeding, got the momentum back, and then the defense kind of did their thing. So I think that's kind of what we need to do, is just make sure that the defense, they're going to give up some plays, but just offensively, just be smart and just kind of try to take control of that game. CeeDee Lamb, I think this is going to be a big game for him. He's always had good success against Bradbury in his career. Slay is obviously losing the step, so hopefully the speed of Brandon Cooks can kind of get a little bit of momentum going for us. So I think this offensive line, that's going to be key, of just kind of like slowing down that pressure, giving Dak time to make good decisions, just kind of be surgical like he's been the last few weeks. And I think that's going to be a huge
I agree.
Game. So that's kind of how I look at it with the game. And then I have a trivia question for you.
All right.
So what Cowboys player has the most career sacks against the Eagles, and how many sacks is it?
Shoot. Most sacks against the Eagles. It could be anybody. I'm going to say, DeMarcus had a lot, but honestly, it's not DeMarcus, is it?
It actually is DeMarcus.
Oh, is it? I was going to say Randy White, but okay.
Blair's got he had 16 of them in his career against Philly.
Okay, that's good. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't. Do you know who's second?
I do not know who's second.
I don't either. We can figure that. It doesn't matter, we know around here nobody cares about second. So
that is true. That is true. We are tired of sitting around second. It's time to take that first place and run with it.
That's true. All right, good stuff. Good call, Aaron. Appreciate that. He's right about that game last week against the Rams. They scored 2 in a row, and and then you're like, all right, well, this is not as comfortable as it was a few seconds ago, and they got to drive just for a field goal, but and I remember telling Derek next to me, I think it was 6. I think they'd cut it to 16. Might have been 15, like you said, but it was 33-17 because it was 33-3, 33-17, and I remember it was like Derek was like, "Would you go for a fourth down here? It was just 4-down territory?" And I said, "Absolutely not. I'm making this a 3-score game. I don't care about anything but getting a field goal and making it 19 because there's bleeding. Give me a Band-Aid right now on this field goal." And that's what they did, and it changed everything. But on that drive, I think it was 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, Dak had an 11-yard run right to the left side. It extended the drive, and it was just one of those plays where it's like, if I need to, I can run, I can make this thing happen, and that's what they need Dak to be. That was a big moment in the game, and then it became a blowout again, and it wasn't really a big deal. But every game has those plays right there where you're like, hey, it's getting a little dicey, and they did a nice job of doing that. And we're going to see a lot of moments like that where the Cowboys are going to have to go score, figure out a way to score in this game, and let's see how they do it. All right, Tim in Grapevine is our next call. Tim, what's up?
Nick, it's the weekend. Man, happy Friday.
You
Can't
too.
wait for this weekend. It feels like a watershed moment for this team.
Yeah.
Not to be dramatic or anything.
Yeah.
No, so when I look at the breakdown of this game, so the Eagles, when they run behind left guard Landon Dickerson, they're pretty good, 6.7 yards per carry. So to me, it's pretty simple. We all know take care of the ball, sound special teams, and then you got to slow down the run game. In Washington, both games against the Eagles this year, they did that. But the issue is A.J. Brown just destroyed them. And so this is a game where the Cowboys can stop the run if our secondary can we're not going to stop A.J. Brown, but if we can contain him, I think we can pull it off. I really do. What do you think?
What does containing A.J. Brown mean? Because
not giving up 175 and 2 touchdowns.
But honestly, he's had 125 yards 6 games in a row, and it's I don't even know what containing him is. 100-yard game, he only had 100. He's been unbelievable. So that's what's scary is that he's on another level here where you just feel like he can just line up and he's going to get 5 catches for 80, like that. That's like a solid game. So that's what makes them so scary is that they just remind me of the Golden State Warriors from a few years ago where they've got 5 shooters. Somebody's going to be hot. And it's just hard to get them all, cool them all off at the same time. It's definitely a challenge. But the Jets did it, Jets figured out a way. So, they're not unbeatable. They're not. They just have a lot of weapons. It's what we've been saying all offseason about the Cowboys offense. You just flood the offense with weapons, and then it's going to be tough to beat. It's a pick-your-poison type thing. That's exactly what the Eagles have, and they're really good. So thanks for the call, Tim, in Grapevine, not far from Arlington, where there's going to be a parade today for the Texas Rangers, right down there and right there by the stadium. It's going to be crazy. I will not be there. I will be here. I'll tell you, I was all in for the Rangers winning. I mean, I was standing up since the second inning on, no fingernails, all that. But parades, I'm good on that. Don't, unless there's candy being thrown around, I'm really good on the parade. I don't think there'll be any FOMO there. But we do have some people that are headed out there today. They will be going out there and supporting the Texas Rangers. So, all right, let's go to Kurt in Arkansas. Kurt, you're next.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm tickled about the Rangers winning, and I think it's a good omen. I see Dak having another 300 yards passing and 40 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown, 3 passing touchdowns, and CDs going off again.
Yeah, well, they need them. They need all that to happen, all that and more. And
I think Bland's going to get another pick 6.
Oh man, I tell you, if Bland gets another pick 6, we might need a uniform change here. All right, I mean, we may need to move him to offense. I mean, if you're scoring that many touchdowns, I mean, let's figure this out.
No, leave him right where he's at.
I'm joking. No, he's been really, really good. It's just his instincts are off the charts. I mean, it's hard to do that. It's hard to get interceptions, much less interceptions for touchdowns. So
that's right. I love it.
All right. Well, appreciate the call, Kurt. He said he was excited about the Rangers too. I mean, I'm not 100% sure that wasn't Bruce Bochy, honestly. He kind of has that same kind of voice. But no, that's good. That's 2 days in a row for Kurt in Arkansas. I keep my list of all the people that have called here. So I love hearing. We love first time callers, but also this show is built off the callers that keep calling back and building a rapport. And another one that's called before and calling right now, Ronnie in New Jersey. Ronnie, what's up?
Hey, good morning, Nick.
Good morning. How are you?
Nervous and excited.
Okay. Yep. That's called anxious. Isn't that called anxious?
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
You're not.
That's exactly what
you're not scared. You're not nervous. You're excited. You're just anxious to get this game going. I get it.
I mean, I just want to see how our guys are going to play. I wonder how they feel. I mean, if this is us, the fans, I can't imagine how they're feeling. But we got to change the line of scrimmage. I think in order to win this game, we have to dominate both lines of scrimmage. Because Philly, man, I mean, I watch it on YouTube. The Sunday Ticket, and I like watching all competition. And Philly's a different animal. Philly, they're like the 49ers. They're a physical team. I mean, I think the middle, they're beefed up. It's like almost every guy is like over 300 pounds.
I know.
So I wanted to ask you, because I have my I know Nate hates saying the hate. I hate the Eagles, man. Like, that's the one team, ever since that game where they were cheering when Michael Irvin went down, and they were just cheering. Like, I hated them before, but that made me hate them that much more. Who's the rival that we have that you dislike the most? That was my question. That's all.
Okay. All right. Good question. And Nate just doesn't like to use the word. I mean, hate. But I mean, I think in Philly, they don't mind it there, and they hate the Cowboys. If there is one, there is one fan base, there is one team, it would be them. It would be Philly. I was also asked this morning on a radio show to rank the places in the NFC East to go for me. Like, this isn't the last. I mean, like, I enjoy the trip to Philly. I enjoy the city for the most part. See, I have a weird feeling with Philly because, and I don't care if it's a movie or not, I don't care. But, like, I love Rocky. like loved. So like it's hard to just completely dismiss Philly, even though it was a movie. They still have Rocky, you know, and I'll never forget being on the sideline one game, and it was in the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys are trying to hang on to the lead, and Sylvester Stallone was at the game, was like in the end zone. They were showing him, the music was playing, and you know everybody's getting jacked up, and I was kind of feeling it too, but I'm like, all right, pause on my love for Rocky just for 1 second. Pause, okay? And I hope they get their ass kicked. Honestly, you know, I hope right now. I hope that this is Clubber Lang. I hope the Cowboys are Clubber Lang, and then they knock him out. You know, in the first fight of Rocky, and that was Rocky 3. All right, kind of going off the rails here a little bit. All right, let's go. Michael in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Michael,
hey man, what's up?
What's up? And I have a question for you too.
Okay.
I need a judge's ruling on this. All right. Do you think? I know this is random, but I'm playing left field today, so that's fine. Do you think that because when we fly to Cincinnati, the airport is in Kentucky, right? If you think that if your feet are in the ground in Kentucky, would you count that as a state that you've been to? If it's just the airport, but you're on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the Air Force for 10 years, and I traveled a lot. And if I just stopped at an airport in a state I'd never been in, I count it.
You count it? Okay. Even though, like in an airport, your feet aren't really on the ground. You're kind of there. You're just at the, you're getting overpriced food. I mean, you're in the terminal, but you count it. If you count it, that means definitely. Okay.
I count it.
I count it too.
I've been to almost all the states, and a few of them I just went through the airport.
Okay. Well, then if you're counting, then I asked the right person then. I asked the right person for sure. Because when we go to Cincinnati, we're on the airport, we get down on the tarmac and all that. And it's, I was like, well, I'm in Kentucky. I mean, this is it. Now, I haven't been to Lexington. I haven't worn the hat at the Derby. And I haven't done all that, but I've been, okay. Anyways, sorry. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Michael, what's up?
Okay, I got a comment and a question.
Okay.
All right, let me ask you. You were talking about when you first moved to Dallas, you went to the Rangers game.
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
1989.
Okay, that was way before. I went to. I was in Wichita Falls, and the strike was going on. We're getting ready to go on, and we went to the Rangers game, our class, and they had the brand new stadium and the old one. I didn't know if it was around the same time.
That was like you talking about the baseball strike was going on.
Yeah, it was about
94. I think that was the 94 season because, the stadium was built, I believe, around then, 94, 95, something like that. So, yeah. Yeah,
when we went, the old one was still there,
and
then they had the new one. But
still the case now. It's still the case now. I mean, they have they have a new one now, and then the older one, which is still the nicest unused park in the world, but it doesn't have a roof. So.
Oh, okay.
But whatever. Got a Cowboy question?
Yeah. Well, I'm buying what you're selling about not doing a trade. I was really big on that big running back number 22, and but I think you're right, and but I think you need to get some of the other shows on board because after the trade deadline, there was several of your fellow guys in there, they were comparing, the Eagles did this and this, and you got frustrated Tuesday. I've been trying to get on all week, and you were frustrated Tuesday about people talking about it, and I'm kind of with you now. I think you're right, and I think that the game Sunday is going to tell the tale.
Yeah, I mean. You can't get mad at the eBay person that didn't want to sell his stuff. I mean, That's the thing. It's not like they had a chance to purchase this because if the checkbook's open, Jerry's going to pay. It wasn't that. It was just the situation. It wasn't there. It just wasn't there. So that's what made me frustrated. Was that people were upset about scenarios that didn't exist. Like they just didn't exist. And that's the thing. And it was evident by the rest of the league that also didn't get that big guy that you're talking about or some of the other names. So, but I don't dismiss the frustration of wanting to do something kind of that anxious feeling of these. I don't know if we're better than the Eagles. I don't know if we're better than the Niners. They're trying to get better. Why aren't we trying to get better? So it's just a different approach. But I don't think the Cowboys can't beat the Eagles now because they got Kevin Baird or whatever his name is. I still think they can go win this game.
I think so too. And one more thing,
Sure.
I'm kind of with that guy. The guy yesterday, I think he was talking about he didn't need a Super Bowl.
Right.
I want to win a Super Bowl, but the actual, when the Super Bowl's over, then everything football starts back for me. I'm like, I'm waiting for the draft. I'm waiting for training camp, and then the week by week and everything. It's exciting.
Right.
I mean, even without them, only one team can win.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
31 don't.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. You know what? Like, going back to that, his name was Anthony. He was the third caller yesterday, and it sparked a lot. And basically what he said, if you missed it, was that, he said he was in his 50s, I believe. He's seen some Super Bowls. He doesn't need them to win the Super Bowl. And to be honest, he's right. He's right. And these fans that called in afterwards and said, no, wrong. No, he's right. He's right, because you guys have been fans for over the last 28 years, 30 years. You don't need it, okay? It's not air. I mean, it's not water. The Super Bowl. I mean, you're coming back, just like Michael just said. I mean, you'll be back, and so is it desired? Is it coveted? Yes, of course. It's the goal. It's what you keep doing. That's why it lures you back in. Okay, the Cowboys are that. If you ever played golf and you're not very good and you're hitting the ball all over the place and you're like, I hate this stupid game. This sucks. I'm never going to play again. And then what happens about the whole 17, you hit the greatest shot of your life, even though, maybe you're going to break, maybe you're at 120 strokes, whatever. It's the greatest shot of your life or the greatest putt. And you're like, all right, well, I'll be back next week. Let's play it again. I mean, that's what happens. It just sucks you back in. And the start of the season, training camp and all that, the draft, all that good stuff, sucks you back in. So, yes, you don't need the Super Bowl because you're going to be back. But, man, it sure would be nice. And I get that, too. All right, Greg in Sacramento, California. Greg, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Nick? Good to be back on the show.
Right.
I had a question for you. With the Eagles game coming up, I know they like to run the RPO stuff a lot. Maybe you can kind of help me understand that a little bit more, because what seemed to happen last time, or the last time that I can remember them having success with it, was when Jalen Hurts would keep the ball, right?
Right.
And so specifically with Micah, why does that freeze Micah up so much? Why can't it be a situation like Micah sees quarterback that goes get quarterback in that specific case? I mean, I guess if they do hand it to the running back, I mean, doesn't he have his other teammates or his other defenders who get it? Or
yes, but the thing is that rule number one for those edge rushers is also to keep containment. And so when you're on the outside like that, if you're just freeing in, then it pitches it to the outside. You got a guy on the wing, and then they got big old strong wide receivers. So you get Swift out there in the open. You got AJ Brown right there blocking for he's blocking Deron Bland or Gilmore or whatever. And here comes Swift, and you didn't keep contained because all you're doing is going for the quarterback. I mean, that's what makes it tough.
I see.
So it's
okay.
Yeah, I get it too. And with the first caller said, hit Hurts, just hit him. And you're not wrong with that. Do it a couple times. You know what? I will take a 19-yard run from Dante's, what is his name? Swift. I don't even know his name.
Swift, yeah.
DeAndre Swift. Around the, I'll take a 20-yard gain around the edge if Micah Parsons has hit Jalen Hurts really hard to say, all right, you want to keep doing that? We can play this game all day long. You can't keep giving up big chunk runs, but I'd give up a couple. I think they're called sacrificial blows. That's what boxers do.
Yeah.
As long as they're going to get inside, you take a couple of hits. As long as you get in there and work the body, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Okay. That's what I figured too. It seemed like that's what should have happened in the prior game. I feel like if Michael would have just hit him a couple times, let him know he's there.
Right.
It probably would have eliminated a lot of that. But that's all I had. Thanks for me.
All right. Thanks for the call, Greg. And also, another part of that too is the run defense, the defensive tackles. You've got to be able to shore that up as well. If the Cowboys, if Micah, D-Law, those guys on the edge, if they have confidence that the middle's going to be, stuffed, then it's easier to play more on the outside, and you're giving up some of those things. But that was the problem in that first meeting last year. They couldn't get off the field because they couldn't stop the run right up the middle. That was kind of the problem. But, yeah, there's no doubt Micah Parsons has not had the success against the Eagles that he's had in other teams. I mean, he's only had a half of a sack. That was his very first game. He's not had a full sack. So I know he knows that, and he'll be chomping at the bit to get going here. All right, let's go to Matt in Raleigh, North Carolina. Matt, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hey, I just wanted to share one thought, or really get your thought, and then I have a quick question for you. So,
okay.
To me, we're kind of making this game, at least it seems, a little less compared to what we made it of the Niners game. And to me, this is a bigger game. I think, obviously, seeding is on the line. If you look at the records, we lose this game, the Eagles go to 8-1, Cowboys fall to 5-3. That's a big gap.
Mm-hmm.
I know we still have half the season left, but to me, if we can get home field advantage, and I know I'm looking a little further down the road, clearly we're a home team and we got the home crowd working for us. We just seem to be a different team at home, and I think it's going to play a huge role moving forward. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Yep.
And then second, who would you pick if you were to look at this team? Who on offense and who on defense needs to click, if you will, for us to win this game? Personally, I have us winning this. I think we're going to have a game-winning field goal of 50-plus yards to pull out the win. I have Cowboys winning 26-24. But love to get your thoughts on that.
Love it. Love it. All right. So I agree with you on the first part. I don't know if this being hyped up as much. And I thought maybe from my standpoint, just being here in Dallas because of the coverage of the Rangers and, the Mavericks are 4-0, for us here, other teams, there's some excitement. That's what I kind of thought was mainly because there's been a lot of tension on other things. But for this show, you guys call in, you're from all over the place, and everybody's excited. Maybe not to the same level as the 49er game, and let's hope not, because that didn't work. That mindset, that approach, whatever the Cowboys felt going into that game, that certainly didn't translate to the field. So for whatever it is, I just think this is going to be different because, they know the Eagles. The Eagles know the Cowboys. They know each other. So it's not going to be that type of matchup. And also, I think from a confidence standpoint, the Cowboys could say all they wanted to about the 49ers, but they hadn't beaten them. They've been knocked out of the playoffs 2 years in a row. So there's no way that they have the same level of confidence going up against the 49ers as they should the Eagles. They beat the Eagles last time. The last time the Cowboys played the Eagles, they beat them. Was Hurts the quarterback? No, he wasn't. It was Gardner Minshew, who threw for 375 yards and 4 touchdowns. What else is Hurts going to do? He had a great game. Minshew did, but they didn't beat Jalen Hurts. But they have beaten the Eagles, and I think the confidence is there that they can go and beat them. As for offense, defense, guys that have to step up, it's not just one. It's certainly not just one guy, but I'd like to see Damone Clark be a little bit more of a difference maker. He's leading the team in tackles. There's no doubt about it, but I do think he needs to be a guy that can kind of make sure and shore up that middle. There when they run the ball. I could say Hankins too, and Osa and those guys, but it gets to that next level. I think Damone Clark is a guy that needs to make plays, and then about Jake Ferguson, because the receivers are going to be on the outside making some plays. They had to run the ball, but Ferguson needs to be a guy that can extend the drives, get it going. And if I remember correctly, in that first game in Philly last year when Cooper Rush was the quarterback, they got down early. They kind of started coming back in that game, and they got to a point to maybe win it. And Jake Ferguson was a big part of that. I know he scored a touchdown, had a nice nifty play around the goal line. So he needs to be a guy I think that can kind of help to help the Cowboys extend drives, move the chains. He's that type of guy. All right, let's go to one caller, and we're going to take a break. Joe in Stanford. Joe, what's up?
Hey, morning, Nick. How are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
Well, I had a couple things. I'm doing great. Rangers won, man. Like you, I've been waiting my whole life for that. So
yeah,
it's been a really good week.
Yeah, it definitely has.
So, first Eagles game. this is the biggest game of the season. We win this game, it could propel us to the best record in the NFC, home field advantage, and a good opportunity to make the Super Bowl. Lose this game, the Eagles are one more game ahead of us, and the road just seems a whole lot harder to get to the Super Bowl. So, in my opinion, this weekend is the biggest game of the season. I know we have other games. December's going to be tough, but I think if we win this game, we are the team that can go into December and take on that tough schedule and have the best record. So that's how I feel about this game this week. Now, the elephant in the room for me, I listened to the show yesterday, and our friend Anthony from Florida, he got on the line and talked about delusional Cowboys fans, and he called himself a fanatic who doesn't care if we win the Super Bowl. Look, you had some callers earlier talk about how he loves the process and so he can understand. I don't understand any of that, and I don't agree with you that any of that that doesn't make sense to me at all, okay? I do everything I do, all the calls, every time I call into you, everything I do, the way I obsess about the Cowboys, that's being a fanatic. And I obsess about them because I want them to win a championship. And if they don't, I'm pissed off until the next training camp. So I'm cool with casual fans, but don't get on here and call somebody delusional and call yourself a fanatic and then tell me you don't care if we win a championship. That's ridiculous.
All right. I think everybody honestly is saying the same thing. I really do. It's just saying it in a different way. If I had to go back and listen to it, I think he said, I don't need a championship. Not that he doesn't want it. He doesn't need it to be a diehard Cowboy fan. And if people disagree with that, then that's fine. Like, okay, I get it. It sounded odd when he said it, but I think I understand the approach here, okay? Everybody wants this team to win. I mean, think about it. Guys, you're getting on the line. You're calling 888-855-2297 so you can talk to a guy that can talk about this game, about the Cowboys. You have jobs. You have stuff going on. Anyone that's calling this show, they're a big-time Cowboy fan. I'm a huge Arkansas Razorback fan. I have never, ever, ever called a show in Arkansas. I've never done that. I nothing against. I'm saying y'all are huge fans. Every one of you are big fan. Anthony in Florida wants the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl more than anything. But his point is, if they don't, he's going to be right back here next year doing the same thing, just like most of you are. I don't know about delusional. I don't remember hearing that word. I don't know if that was said, but I think delusional would just be expecting to win the Super Bowl, and if you don't, then you just give up and you quit and you go to another team. I mean, that's like delusional, but I don't know who does that. You guys are diehards, and every one of you, in your own way. In your own way, everyone can be a fan in a different way. If you saw how I watched my team, you would laugh, okay? I turn the TV off sometimes. I've done walks. March Madness last year, oh my God, I walked the whole neighborhood every time Arkansas was like down in the game. I would leave. I'll have it taped. I'll watch it. If we win, that's cool. But sometimes I have to leave. Everybody's a fan in their own way. We got to respect that. All right, we'll be right back here on Cowboy Storyline. What?
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't stop banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Back to Cowboys Storylines.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, going back to the phone lines, and we're going to go overseas. We're going to Hamburg, Germany. Reggie, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Nick? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing over there?
We're doing good, man. It's a little bit later over here, but we're hanging in there.
What time is it?
I am such a. It's 4:30 in the afternoon.
4:30 in the afternoon. Okay.
4:36.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like 10. Yeah, it's 10:36 your time, right? No, 9:36, right?
Yeah, 10:30. 10:30. Yeah. Okay. 6 hour difference. All right. What do you got? What do you got for us, Reggie?
Well, listen. Here's what it is. Well said, man, about Cowboy fans. I am a diehard Cowboy fan. To that point, I've been trying to reach you for the last week, since the times you guys were talking about how the running game wasn't working.
Right.
And I've called you guys every day. Today I called you guys 60 times just to get through.
60?
So really to the point, 60 times. I had my thing on speed dial. I just kept ringing through.
Wow.
And it never fed through until now. But anyway, to the point. Here's a question for you, Nick. I'd like to see what your opinion is about this.
Okay.
We obviously want to feed CD, but I think we really need to try and get Brandon activated. Also, we need to get him to blow up. So, what is your opinion about probably decoying CD and then using Brandon? And I don't know what are you feeling about Gallup? Have you given up on him?
No, I've not. I've not given up on Gallup at all. I think he's your third receiver. He's your third receiver, and it is what it is. I mean, like, you just don't worry about money. He's been
kind of disappearing on us, though,
okay.
Right?
That's what. But isn't that what third receivers do? I mean, who's the Eagles' third receiver?
Yes,
I don't know the Eagles' third receiver. He might be Julio Jones. Great, he's got a huge name. He's not playing like one. I mean, like the problem is that I think, and Nate Newton was on here last couple weeks ago and actually said it best. You don't need a third receiver. Third receiver is whoever they're leaving open. Get the ball to CD. I'm not buying the decoy thing. I'm not a fan of that. Okay. CD and Brandon Cooks in that order. Get them the football. Make them make a plays. Put the pressure on the. To me, it's kind of like some teams like to bunt in baseball. Some teams don't. Though they don't want to just give up and out. And think about it from a football terms. Okay, we're going to cover this guy. We want you to throw it to the tight end. Throw it to Gallup. Throw it to Jalen Tolbert. We're not worried about them. We're just worried about this guy killing us. Well, don't give them that out. Keep putting the pressure on. Throw it to CD. Throw it to Cooks. Let them go and make plays. They're the big dogs. You don't see the Eagles doing that. Yeah. You don't see the Dolphins doing that. They throw it to their guys. They get them in situations where they're getting open. Not if they're not open, then we can't throw it to them. They make sure they're open. Right. That's what we're seeing here the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Ferguson's been proving himself as well. You're right about that. So we could probably go that route. And Yeah, that was my question really quick. I don't want to take up too much time. Maybe somebody else is trying to get through 60 times. I want to give him a shot.
It's a lot more expensive. It's a lot more expensive for you. I can promise you that. So you got anything else though, Reggie? Got anything else for us?
No, that's it. It's worth every penny, man. I'm glad to hear your voice. Glad to talk with you, my partner.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Love it. Love the call over there from Hamburg, Germany, Reggie. And I don't know about CD. I don't want to hear the term CD coy. I don't want to see that. I think those days are over. I think you force the ball, and it's not a bad thing, okay? But in the game plan, and I'm not talking about forcing throws. I'm talking about forcing the game plan to get these guys involved early. Don't let the game just come to them, and next thing you know, you're halfway through the second quarter, and you guys got one target. Now, screw that. Get the ball to him early. Let them make plays. He's been targeted 21 times since his little rant on the sidelines in the 49ers. He's caught 19 of those passes. Keep it coming. All right. Kelby in White Oak, Texas. First-time caller. Kelby.
How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, man. Just been listening to you for years.
Awesome.
On different shows, and glad to hear you finally get your, you kind of got your own show, and it's going pretty good. Been listening for a while, so.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. And days like today where you got spirited callers, everyone's jacked up. I'm jacked up and ready to go, man. This is good. Good to hear from you, Kelby. What you got?
Yeah. Well, I won't be as spirited, but
it's all right.
I've been listening to a couple other shows, but some of the guys kind of brought up some points about Devontae Smith and Jordan Lewis kind of having to mix it up and everything. I'm just curious what you thought about that matchup. I mean, do you see them making Bland travel with their number one, or do you see them bracketing?
Yeah, I hear Mike McCarthy talk this morning on the radio on 105.3 The Fan. They get him every Friday, and they tried to ask him about what it takes to travel and all that kind of stuff, and he didn't give them a big answer on what they're going to do. But he said it comes down to just mismatches. I mean matchups, and then also just what all the cornerbacks can do. So. I don't know. I don't. In this case, I don't really see the Cowboys doing that and traveling, because I don't see a huge difference in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Yes, Brown is better, but not to the point where you're going to dismiss Devontae Smith. And I see Bland and Gilmore being pretty comparable as well. So I think for the most part, I see them staying on their sides.
Yeah. I hear you. And then offensively speaking, with the Rams, I mean, I know their defense is not near to what Philly's is, but I will say that it's very encouraging to see them stretch the field vertically. Yeah. And they really were letting the pass set up the run in some instances even. But, I mean, it's very encouraging to see them kind of turn that leaf over and be a little bit more aggressive down the field.
Yeah.
And, attack really weak spots in the defense and kind of just exploit things like that.
And trusting Dak to do it, to go make that throw. And I think Dak's got playing with a lot more confidence. Confidence for a quarterback can be tricky. We know that, and it happened in that game. They got a little too cute, threw an interception there, but then he got back to basics again and made some other plays. So I think for the most part, I think the Cowboys are playing with a lot of confidence on offense.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you taking my call. Keep up the good work, man.
Yeah, thank you, Kelby. Good to hear from you. There in White Oak, Texas. We're going to go to Merkel, Texas, for Al. Al in Merkel, Texas is up.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing great. How about them Rangers?
How about them, man? How about that for sure?
My dad would be so happy. We used to go to that AAA ballpark and go watch them. So that was...
Yep.
I just have one thing to say, and I'm going to say it, but it doesn't mean that we're going to go on and win the Super Bowl. But I get this feeling, and I haven't been able to shake it for 3 days. Now, I'll preface this with saying I'm only right about 30% of the time, because if I was right more, I'd be in Vegas and living high off of bets. But I think we're going to, as everybody says, we're going to expose the Eagles. I think we're going to dominate. I don't think it might not be a blowout, but I think we're going to dominate. And once again, I'm not saying that means we're going to go to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean the Eagles are going to fall away. I just think that we're going to go in. We have Dak has the the mojo over the Eagles, and I believe that Dan Quinn's going to dial up a good defense, and I just believe it's going to be a dominant win.
All right. Well, I had to go search my notes real quick here for the Friday show before the Niners. I was like, hope you weren't the one that called and said they would win 35-10 over the Niners. That wasn't you. It was not, by the way. But so I was just making sure. I was like, I hope. But I hear your point. I mean, I think the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys and Eagles. I think they're pretty close. And a game like this, you know, I could see the Cowboys winning it for sure. I can for sure see them winning this game. It's not going to be easy because the Philadelphia is pretty complete. I mean, and that's what a 7-1 team should look like. You know, their quarterback threw the 3 interceptions and they lose to the Jets. They play that game again. They probably beat the Jets by 2 touchdowns. I see that happening, but I think that the Cowboys are pretty good too. I mean, I think if the Cowboys played these games over again, you know, I don't think they're going to lose to the Cardinals. Now the Niners, you know, we'll see. They may have to face them again, but I do believe the Cowboys can go win this game. I don't know about exposing them. I don't know about dominating them, but I think they have a chance to win, and it won't surprise me at all if they win this game. All right, David in Fort Worth is our next caller. David, you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How are you?
Good, sir.
All
Hey,
right.
I wanted to real quick touch on what Anthony was talking about and what everybody's been talking about as far as winning the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I agree with you. I don't think what he said was wrong. I just think it's like way back in the day. You can help me remember, but it's like when Romo said something on like a talk show. He said something to the effect of, "If this is the worst thing that happens in my life, I think I'll be okay."
It wasn't. Hold on. It was not a talk show. It was right after they lost to Philly, 44-6 in the 2008 regular season finale to go to the playoffs, and they lost, and they're not in the playoffs. And he collapsed in the shower with like a punctured lung or something like that. And so then he goes up there and says, "Well, you know, if this is the worst thing that ever happened." Fans don't want to hear that. But he's not wrong either. Like, he's not wrong. Like, if that's the worst thing that's ever happened, he's going to have a good life. And he has had a good life. I don't know if it was the worst thing that ever happened to him. I thought it was in Seattle, but whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that. I mean, like, the same way that we're upset, you know, maybe about what Anthony said, or we're upset about maybe not making a move on the trade deadline, we're going to come back. You know what I mean? Like, we're always going to come back. That's it's in our blood. We're here. We're listening to you because we love it, and we're always going to come back no matter what because it's in our blood. I just wanted to give a quick score prediction, sir. Crazy prediction, and my wife's crazy prediction.
All right.
Quick.
All right.
Score prediction. I think it's going to be 27-26. I think Dak is actually going to lead.
That's my score, David.
27-26, man. I'm telling you,
that's
the
it.
offense is going to struggle.
That's my score.
Dak's going to lead a game-winning touchdown at the end of the game. We're all going to be biting our nails, making sure Aubrey can make the kick. He will. We're going to win this game. I think Osa gets 2 sacks. That's my crazy prediction. My wife, she actually got a full night's sleep last night because, you know, we have a newborn.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's on, but she thinks defense is getting 2 defensive touchdowns. So, you know what? If that happens, that'd be awesome. I think she's just euphoric right now. But, hey, man, I appreciate you taking my call. Chris, I always appreciate you squeezing me in, and I hope you guys have a great day.
All right. Thank you, David. That's a great call. Great call right there. I was going to predict that as well. I was going to say, I predict that you're going to get a full night's sleep tonight. I was going to say that, but you already got it last night. So, but 27-26, that's my score. That's the one that I have as well. So when somebody earlier said the Cowboys were going to win 26-24, I thought, I'm predicting 27-26. That means I hate for the Eagles to jump in and get a field goal on that guy's prediction and flip it. But no, Cowboys 27-26 is my score. It's David in Fort Worth. That's his score as well. 2 defensive touchdowns as a prediction. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure one of them will be Deron Bland. You know, he's living in that end zone more than anyone else. Him and CD are tied for the team in touchdowns. It's just that's the way it goes. All right, I think the phone lines are open, but we are done for today. You guys were great. We had 13 calls, 5 from Texas. So Texas is the state champs. A lot of great calls. Germany, though, you know, Germany should count as like 3. You call from Germany. Great show. Great week, everybody. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys kind of hanging in there with me and putting up with me with the Rangers talk. I know most of you don't care. I get it. You know, if somebody were to call in from another place and say, "Hey, I'm from Detroit. The Red Wings won this," I would be like, congrats to you, because I understand from a fan's perspective, and I understand what you guys are going through. But it is cool when your team gets a chance to win. But like we said before, we're all hoping the Cowboys can do the same, because when it happens, it's going to be epic, no doubt about it. All right, so for Chris Beam, I am Nick Eatman. We will see you on Monday talking Cowboys and Eagles here on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!